Hello everyone, this is Manse. I am happy to meet with you guys today, and today I am going to discuss about AWS services. So, first of all, to just present myself, I am a cloud engineer. Spent time with AWS, Amazon Web Service, where part of my job is to help customers solving the technical issues. So. Initially, when I joined Amazon, it was just to stay in the specific area where it is ETL, what is called ETL, data migration, helping new customers who want to move their on-premise services to cloud into the cloud. So you will find out some customers are just having big data centers, which is very costly to maintain. And what we do is to advise them, in terms of type of storage they need to pick, and also type of VPC we need to design for them. And sometimes we choose which methodology are we going to use, which tool are we going to use to transfer those data. So some will pick VPC peering, some will pick a direct connect, or also some people will just use what is called snowball. It based on the customer need and also the budget they have put on the table to move their services. What I covered so far in terms of training was compute services, that I am going to go deeply on that. Storage, which is in AWS side, which is a S3 bucket. Many people know that. Database, which is going to cover Atna, DynamoDB, and also other DB stuff. So networking with content delivery. So that one is more specifically on VPC subnets. Is how are you going to do those small configuration and follow the VPC wizard to build a VPCs, or design something which is going to work well for them, because we put more time on in terms of high quality services, networking, not getting any downtime for customers, which they will not like at all. So we cover analytics. Analytics is just people who want to visualize their data, and sometimes they want to build some small dashboard table, understand those tables, visualize them, and try to understand the data consumption, how much the data are costing them. So we go through that. And machine learning and AI for people who know Alexa, and also what is called Siri. A lot of people using Siri, in the with their devices. Uh, Alexa, which is very popular application, Amazon customer, buying. Um, you know, so security, identity, compliance, security. Just want to make sure there is no intruder that's gonna break down into the system. And that's why we just advise customer to accept those services like Cloud Shell, and also build a token which will help them to protect their data. Uh, in terms of compliance, we want to make sure, like, working with government, protecting people data, their privacy, and we don't want something to get violated over there. So that's why Amazon put a lot of effort training engineers and staff to know how to handle those document data and confidential document. So like before I jump into, let me just present myself. Manse Sura. I spent 7 years with United States military, and part of my job was, what is called 25 Bravo information technology. So fixing some computer stuff and setting up IP addresses, sending signal. So that was my job. I spent 7 years. With 1 year overseas, go for military deployment, then come back as a military veteran. So in terms of Education, I started first by the associate degree in applied science. Then later on, I moved to get my bachelor degree in mathematics and statistics. And that one was great though. So I know it was tough degree, but a lot of challenges, but I make it out. So and I also earned a master degree in big data analytics and information technology at the University of Central Missouri. So part of that degree was, understand concept, how to deal with big data. And I will go through this, how to build, like, just take example, a customer who come with his table, how to put a select to choose a specific data that he's looking for. So he doesn't want to, be go through those deep or metadata. He just want a specific data, pull them up, then update those table. So finishing that degree was a great, but I didn't want to stop my education. That's why I went to get my MBA added to my master. MBA in leadership, organizational leadership. So uh, as you see, for people who just come newly in Amazon organization as an engineer, uh, you want to grow up in that organization. You don't just want to stay in one box. You want to grow up. So that's why checking internal job, I think many there are a lot of opening, but those opening require sometimes more experience and also degrees like MBA. Like that is, for example, you want to be a manager, you want to be a what is called a technical account manager. So that will require probably to get an MBA, add to what you currently have as experience, technical background. That's why I'm doing that degree. But before all those things I have listed was I spent time helping people, for a new student who sometimes are lost. They don't know what they want to do in their life, and they just need a mentor, somebody who will guide them, somebody who's gonna tell them, okay, look, doing this degree here are opportunity, open door that you can be part of. So usually I just tell them the world is changing, and even technology itself is changing. So you need to be able to find a right education. Because myself, I didn't just limit it, go to school, have degrees, or have only experience at work. So I did a lot of certification, like Linux. I took a Linux cert. I took a AWS Cloud Associate Professional also exam. And I took a Google Cloud, which is a GCP, and Azure, Microsoft Azure certification. So those certification has helped to build a technical knowledge, which is today helping me to resolve very quickly customer problem. And if you see in terms of Amazon training, what we went through is like, okay, the AWS fundamental. So building blocks, availability zone region, and you want to advise customers just to set up the data close to the near availability zone, so to um, help them with reliability and scalability, which is going to help make their services moving very fast. And also we just tell them, like, in terms of responsibility, who's the owning, who's the owner when the object is land in the cloud environment. Who is the owner? Who take responsibility if something happens? So in terms of that, there are two things you need to know. So the first thing is Amazon take responsibility, but that responsibility has limitation. So limitation is he's not going to control everything from the data side, customer data side. So what Amazon is doing is make sure that customer data are in the safe place. But in terms of maintaining the data and choosing right path to visualize the data, that responsibility is customer side, not Amazon side. So you need to be able to understand those concept, and deep concept that you need to understand. Just learn the concept and understand them. And in terms of compute storage, compute for people who know EC2, you want to build EC2s and build, those environment which is going to help you to run your cloud services. So people will choose a Linux operating system, or will choose a AMI. All those things, you need to understand them. You need to be able to connect with your VPCs, and also if there are many setup here that you need to do, you need to understand those things. And when I say setup is like when you are building your EC2s, so EC2s will ask you which tier you want to choose. Are you going to choose a free tier in terms of computing or operating system? People will use a Linux. Some people will use Ubuntu. Some people will use there are Amazon AMI, which is a Amazon image, managed image. So those things that people need to understand, and AWS services. So storage, as I said at the beginning, is S3 bucket. For example, if you want to load your picture, I know it right now we are in the digital transformation. You take a picture, you have many pictures, and you feel like your phone storage is too small, or your Google, Google Drive is just very small, and you're feeling like, okay, I'm looking for area where to put those picture, so that I won't lose them, or I just want to keep them for my grandkid. So I'm looking for a safe place which is not going to cost me. So you just go there, talk with Amazon representative or engineer who is going to just to help you find the right storage. For people who want to leave those objects for long term, so we just need to understand, do you just want to leave them for 10 year, 20 year, 100 year? So once we understand how long you want to leave your object there, so we will just send you, the pricing information. This is how it costs, and there is something also you need to understand, like when you bring in your data in the Amazon, most oftenly those data, the move in is almost, I say almost free, but not 100% free. So it's almost free. But if now you want to move one object from one object which is already in the cloud environment, and you want to move it from part A to part B, so that's gonna cost you. So Amazon will charge you for that. Or also, if one day you feel like, okay, look, I am tired. I no longer want that storage services, and I want to move my data out from Amazon. So that come up with some costs. So, and we will break down those costs if we get time. In terms of networking, I already said so it just VPCs and subnet IP addresses. You need to understand those block system in which how can you break down your IP addresses in different small subnet. And what we also cover in terms of training is what is called well architecture framework. In that well architecture framework, we usually talk with customer like, okay, here is a great services which is going to help you in terms of security, in terms of cost optimization, in terms of what else, in terms of performance, reliability, scalability, a dynamic environment in which you want to take advantages of. That's why we call it a well architecture framework. So we ask a customer, what do you really want in terms of services in AWS? The customer will say, okay, I am looking for something very simple. I have a restaurant. I want to be able to, use that restaurant to make a marketing plan, or, reach out large customers. So Amazon will come with a best plan for you, do design, architecture design. Then we'll bill you maybe, some website or some a system which will help you, just to get your promotion done quickly. Like if we take alert system, SNS. So we take alert system. He will build something for you to, once you get your customer phone number, you will just build the alert system, alert your customer. Okay, look, I have a new pizza design. I have some new seasoning. I have some new clothing line. Just send that alert to your customer, so customer will understand that something new is there. You need to be able to put the customer, update them all the time, and they need to be able to do that. And sometimes company that use those alerting system are like banks. Uh, Something happened in your bank account, and you see a small notification on your phone. That is part of query. When we query the system in which if there is a small transaction in your bank account, it sends alert to your phone. So this is part of one service, best service that people are using from AWS. And it's part of one architecture framework. So those small things I am saying it part of, like, if you want to take exam and solution architect associate, so you need to understand those small concepts. you know so, and later on we will go on what is called identity access management, AIM. Maybe you hear the word before, but it's just conceptual, which if you hear AIM, some will tell you AIM policy, AIM role. You need to know the difference between the role and the policy. So the policy is a statement. It might be in the JSON format or another format, but that statement is just gonna give you detail on what is allowed, what is denied, and what will help you to perform a specific task in the Amazon, in the AWS services. That's why I want to give you just example. But before I read that service, I will just tell you. You see, it called for people who have a big data profile in AWS. There is a service called AWS Glue like glue. When you have two objects like a phone and a monitor, you want to glue them together. Yeah, glue. So that glue service is the best. It's a very great service. And when you want to use that glue service, it's called, usually Glue Studio. You go there, you will build your data, you will build your table, you will build your framework, you will build, your glue job. And also, there is other, services attached to the glue that you're going to use. But let me tell you, those sub services, all those sub services I'm listing, those, in order to build them, they will require you to attach AIM role. You see, so AIM role will be like a permission you are giving to other third parties or your friend or other people or members in your organization to have accessibility and using the service. That's why they call it policy or role. The role is just like a statute. They say, okay, this person is allowed to use this. So it's a typical role. Like, okay, when we say exam, that is just exam. Like a manager is allowed to use this. He has the role. The member has the role. And we want to be able to specify that role. So policy is just policy, like regulation, and they are follow with statement, like I said, JSON format or whatever other format. Credential is very important thing, and when we say AIM, we say credential. You need to be able to use a password token, just called token, or generate additional authentication user algorithm. Be able to create the token. So to not allow everybody to penetrate in your system, which is very important. So going through, I don't know what else. You will hear some will tell you access management, or identity. You need to be able to understand all those concepts. So, and storage, I'm not gonna go too much, as I said. I said it well at the beginning. Storage, I just even took an example. But what you need to understand in the storage also, there are additional settings that you want to enable or you want to disable. So like versioning. So you need to understand what is S3 object versioning. So like if you want to make that object visible to organization, you need to be able to versioning, or you just want to lock that object, not let people be accessible to the object, And there are S3 storage classes. Maybe if we want to go deep, we will just tell you those classes. But for people who are comfortable with Azure, Microsoft Azure, you will hear instead of S3 bucket log, you will hear Vault in the terminology Vault in the Azure instead of log. So we have encrypted S3 object, which I went a little bit deep, encrypt my object. I have data. If I have data, I put those data. I want to encrypt those data. I don't want those data to be public, or just you can block them to the public. You don't want people to see. Just go ahead and block public accessibility to those storage. And also we have a replication. It's something you will hear a lot in AWS replication. If for as an engineer, I am working in US East 1, like US East 1, and I want my object to stay in that region, US East 1. But knowing that if something happened in the Virginia area, which is covering US East 1, if something happened in those data centers, what will happen with my object there? I might lose my object. So trying to avoid that, just replicate your object in different region. So my object might be in the US East 1, but I want to make sure that I sent it also to another region, like I can take a US West 2 or Oregon region, just to replicate my object in the different region. That way, if something happened in the US East 1, which is in Virginia, nothing, I will be able to get my object, retrieve my object from the US West 2. That's why it's very important to replicate your object in different region and availability zone. So I like those small concepts. And to be honest, if I will be teaching this class, I will just be taking some easy example like photos, like phone, some basic tool you are using at home. That will help you just to remember, okay, what I'm trying to say. It's not something difficult. It's something passionate. It's something just take it easy. Very simple, easy stuff. Implement them with AWS. You will understand AWS services well. Okay, compute engine. I said that word. I did not go deeply, but when we say compute, are we talking about EC2 only? No, there are many compute engine. When like you take Lambda function, those one are compute engine. And not limited to EC2s or Lambda function or whatever. It can cover large stuff like workload, deployment, office centers. So instances, those one are what is called a lot. But look, at the beginning, it's just something I am going to say, but it's just funny. When somebody say EC2, I was just confused, like, okay, what is EC2? I know he say compute engine, but what happened when they keep hearing EC2 and also instance? Confusing, right? So it was like, yeah, EC2 is just call it EC2 instance. When you create an instance, you create something in the EC2 is just instance, and that can be a really funny, really playful when you start now, playing with those EC2 settings and that, and be able to get them already running, ready to run, and that's it. uh, you know, here, not like, since it's just a small video, I'm just making it. It's not something big like a big book I am going to go through, but like you will hear sometimes they say elastic compute, or what is elastic compute, EBX or volume, Snapchat. Those things don't get intimidated when you hear Snapchat. Like, okay, Snapchat, a copy. I have something and I want to make a copy of this. Like, I don't want to lose something. I have some small stuff. I don't want to lose it. Um, Make a copy of it so that if one day something happened with the original, the copy is somewhere. Snapchat, you know. Volume are, if you want to fast track your activity in the computer engineer, you can add more volume, what is called EBX volume with encryption. You will hear sometimes when they say EFS. EFS, what is EFS? Elastic File System. Because when you pull up data are not coming. They are not only coming in one format. Some data will come in JSON format. Some will come in CVS format. Some will come in Excel format. Different format. Yes. When you hear EFS, it's just Elastic File System, and those files are maybe coming on the text file, and understand them. You will also hear FX, F like Frank, S like September, X like extra. You will hear that terminology, but when you hear that, automatically keep in your mind that it's just a Windows system, because that is not applying the Mac for Mac machines. Yeah, and to go deep, so for people who probably you will hear some people are getting confusing between EBX and EC2 instance storage. Some people will be like, okay, instance storage, EBX. EBX is volumes, instance storage, instance that will store something like kind of capacity storage, have memory to store something. Don't just get confused from that. So backup, AWS backup. Yeah, AWS backups. That is good. Sometimes some people will lose their data and they feel like, oh my goodness, I lost everything. What else? So there is something called AWS backup, which will help you to back up your file or your data, backing them up, then keep them back. That backup is not free. So AWS might charge you because, backing up your data. EFS, as I say, Elastic File System, what usually it do is just help you, compress your data or reduce storage. You have a lot of data which is taking memory, it costing you. So you need to find alternative way to reduce your, your data. Yeah. So all right, I'm running out the time, and today I am not going to cover everything. So we have a lot to cover, like VPC, Route 53, elastic load balancing. Like when you hear elastic load balancing, just keep in mind it's just equilibrium, a balance. Like it can be balancing the networking in your system. It can be balancing the load of your data in your system. So you need to understand that. And monitoring, I will tell more about CloudWatch. I will tell more about CloudTrail, and I'm running out of time. So, and VPC flow logs. So those like when we say CloudWatch, they will give you metrics and graph which will help you to rate, okay, which is your uses, what are you using, how much are you using, how much are that costing you. Yeah, we will also talk about the coupling workflow. Big data, which is my profile. When you go to big data, talk about the Redshift. Kinesis, streaming, Fire hose streaming for people who like TV, they're watching US football. You need to understand when they say Kinesis fire hose, what is this helping TV station to stream the data, understand all those concepts. So those one involved. But I have only less than 1 minute to finish this video. So you will hear servlet. So when we say servlet, Lambda, container, ECS, EKEY, Fargate, which is helping you too much to save your money. Servlet, something which is helping you to save your money with no server, no more need to put a lot of money hire consultant to maintain your server. Security, I will talk about that. So monitoring a lot of things. Automation will come. Automation is good. Docking, you need to understand the cloud formation and also elastic beam stuff. So I think that's it for today. Next time I will cover governance, migration, data migration, and front-end machine learning, media, and that's it for today. All right, thanks so much. If you have any question, feel free. I want to make this training very helpful, very understandable, very clear, no pressure, understand those concepts with only small energy. That's it. We don't want to complicate things for people who want to learn. And I am here to help you achieve your training. That is my objective. If you get any question, you have any concern or question, just reach me out. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.